Create Studios podcast featuring Gunna Global in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm blessed. I'm right here. I'm mobbing, man.
Great to have you, man. Came out from the city?
Yeah, man. City where it's gritty, man. Some say it's pretty.
It's gritty, man.
Yeah.
Following you on the gram, we were just talking about off air, backstage, just what's going on with the gram, what's going on with the culture of the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were talking about more prominently about the social media aspects of the Bay Area because it's changing. It's different than it used to be, and they're still like the double XLs are still all that. Thizzler's still very prominent. I think you were just shouting out Bay Area Alert.
Oh yeah, shout out Bay Area Alert.
Shout out Bay Area Alert. They're very up to date on what's going on, news-wise, music-wise, and it gives you a great feel, right?
Yeah, immediately.
You should almost have a print magazine.
Yeah, it's coming. A lot of things is in the works with Bay Area Alert to just expand. Shout out to the founders. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the person running the page, man. He's got a brilliant mind and a dope grind.
Isn't it amazing how these pages come to surface? Because it's the fact that they didn't get paid at first, you know? And there's bigger outlets out there like Cron News, stuff like that. But it seems like pages like Bay Area Alert are getting more
They the biggest
traction.
in the Bay, hands
They're getting
down.
more traction.
Yeah, they're
than
the biggest in the Bay because they're
Yeah.
not being biased. That's another thing, man. They spin it raw and cut. They rock with the people, they for the people, and they're not letting their personal relationships get in the way of what's going on. And that's the blueprint to every national and global platform. When you look at magazine back in the day, we all know what happened with the source.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
When you
Got watered down.
You feel me? Because of personal relations. Don't do that, man. Keep everything objective, especially when it comes to the people, and you're going to flourish every time.
I think you're talking about when Irv Gotti was on in it. Was that it?
Nah, I think this is when Benzino owned it.
Benzino owned it. And there was a lot of politics about who was cool with Benzino and who wasn't. And then that started affecting how the source got viewed. That whole thing with Jay-Z. So, yeah, independent media is crazy. It's just taking on its own head right now. What do you feel about independent media, about not just Bay Area Alert, about other pages and what they're promoting and what they're doing?
It's the future, and it's the present. And over the last however many years, it's been the past. So when you look at it, I feel that when you take these platforms and you balance it out, you got the entertainment and the information, it's going to flourish. I feel like they're going to continue to grow, especially when they are selective in what they post. So say you taking advertising money, right? Saying all money ain't good money. Like, this is quality, I'll take, let's do business.
Right.
Because you can water things down by taking everybody's money. You feel me? Imagine going on the radio and hearing everybody who ever paid to get on there. It wouldn't be what it is. Imagine going on TV and everybody who paid had a commercial when you watch one of your favorite shows or football games. You'd be like, whoa. So quality control is essential.
Yeah. Definitely. I know you're from San Francisco, California. I know the city's kind of taking a hit after the pandemic. And it's just kind of weird to discuss. San Francisco is still a very beautiful city.
One of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Fentanyl has really kind of ravished through that city.
That's a lie. The media has perpetrated this narrative to the outside that everybody's walking around getting high. The area in which fentanyl is flourishing is in the area that it been lit. It's been drug issues there. It been where you go to smoke dope. You feel me? It been where you go to get high, that part of San Francisco. So when you look at the 30, 40 different neighborhoods, you're talking about the Tenderloins, more specific.
Absolutely.
You feel me? When you come to the Mo, ain't nobody on fentanyl. You go to Sunnydale, ain't nobody. Potrero Hill, the Mission, Excelsior, Sunset.
Yeah.
So the media, what it does is no different than the continent of Africa, right? What you do is you go to the worst part of Africa possible, even though that place is 30 times bigger than the United States, and you take that 2 blocks and you say this represents 1,700,000,000 people, right? Just like we come to Oakland. Oh, Oakland is violent. And it's like, well, you talking about dope spots because I could take you to the Oakland Hills, you feel me? I could take you to the town and show you where it's cool, you feel me? So it's like with the city, you also got a black mayor. So it's intentional, just like the United States. It was fucked up. Then when Obama got in office, it was like, let's blame the black man for everything. So you got to understand them nuances of soon as black people get in position, outlets and even the citizens are quick to look at us in this light of being the savior and blame us for everything that's going on. Mayor London Breed, she inherited the city. You feel me? She didn't birth it. So
that's great.
And I'm not.
Great
you feel me? I'm bipartisan. You feel me? I'm bipartisan with it. You feel me? But I'm just keeping it a buck, and they on her ass about it, and it ain't right because when Gavin Newsom, Mayor Ed Lee, so many other mayors.
Sold out San Francisco.
You feel me? Nah, I'm not gonna say that. You said that part.
I mean, I did. Well, I think there was like a one Asian dude that was kind of like
Mayor Ed Lee.
Yeah, and he kind of sold out Asian people in San Francisco.
You feel me? Willie Brown and all these people. What I'm saying is, San Francisco has always been San Francisco. We just ain't had social media. The fentanyl epidemic, though, is not to be undermined.
It's real.
It's terrible, bro.
It's
you know,
real.
I seen crack.
Yeah.
You feel me? I seen crack. I heard about heroin. I seen the pills.
You seen meth.
You feel me? I seen the thee a little bit because the people who did thee, it was never popular in our neighborhood.
What's
right?
thee?
What they call it? Meth.
Oh, okay.
Thee. You feel me? Yeah, we call it thee. I don't know what they call it out there.
I've never heard that. So you call it thee?
Thee. If you listen to thee, no, THEE, thee. Thee. You feel me? Off the thee.
Okay.
So, E40 song, he had a hit song back in like 2010. I could tell he was in close proximity to people from the city. Shout out to Unc, you feel me? Because he called it thee. But I wasn't around people that did meth, right? Gotcha. But when I was locked up, I was in the feds, I read a book called Meth Land. And then it opened my eyes to everything that was going on. And I was like, damn, at the time, the only people I knew who did thee was from the Hill.
Right,
you feel me?
Right.
And they would call it game. They didn't call it thee. They'd be like game, and they'd mix it with their weed and shit. Not everybody. I'm just talking about some of the dudes that I ran into.
Specifically, exactly.
You feel me?
That, yeah.
But this fentanyl situation, it's like heroin, it's like coke, it's like crack, it's like bow, it's like pills. It's like everything mixed together, but the worst of it. It's like you nodding like you off the bow, or you feel me, the heroin, but then you own one like the crack. You floating like the weed. You get what I'm saying?
Well, there's a specific type of user that does meth and fentanyl. And that's a really good high from what I've been told by them, because I know people back in my day used to do heroin and meth. So people love mixing like drink and weed, and do you know what I mean? Like there are mixers.
Yeah, man.
out
Free
there.
Mac Blast, man. He always talking about the Belushi. You feel me? I ain't fucking with the Belushi, man. But you know what I mean? Shout out Free MA, man. You understand me? That boy and that girl, they put it together. He said, you feel me?
Yeah. Is it blinking red over there? Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, there's so many. You know, I mean, I gotta say, San Francisco is just. It gets that. I'm glad that you said it, Gunna, because it's getting that media rep that it's going bad. All these real audio clips, like Joe Rogan talking about San Francisco. But I've been to San Francisco recently. It's exactly what you said. It's in concentrated areas.
Man, I live in it. You feel me?
Areas. Still beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Still beautiful.
You could go to the pier. You could go to the beach. You could go to the Sunset, right? You could go over there by Stonestown. You could go to the Mission. You could go to the Excelsior. You could come to Fillmore. You could go over there by Lombard. You feel me? You could go to all these places and ain't nobody on fentanyl. But what they've done is they taken this concentrated area again, and it's propaganda.
Right.
It's propaganda. It's two things you want to do. You want to discredit black folks, and she happens to be a black woman, and then you want to also discredit women. So it's a double attack on what they've got going on, and they don't want to come out and say women shouldn't be in position. So they're not going to say that. They're going to say the mayor. They're not going to come out and say we don't like black people running anything or being in position, because these are uncomfortable conversations. And San Francisco is so liberal. San Francisco ain't been liberal since the 90s.
Yeah.
San Francisco is ground zero for modern day gentrification. The first neighborhood that got gentrified in San Francisco was Fillmore, where I'm from. They call it the Harlem of the West. So be clear about what's going on in the last 23 years of San Francisco. When these tech companies,
man,
his imperfections is perfections. This is my man. You understand what I'm saying? So it's all good. So
getting better.
Let's pick back where we left off, man, because this is one of the let me state this. The energy in here before we was on camera is what set the tone. So moving forward, I think I always got to holler at people, because I feel like I've been around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For an extended period of time. So the comfortability is there.
Well, people say that, man.
I like that. Is that something that you always do? I know you're the interviewer, but I'm curious because that shit set the tone for what we got going on.
Well, this whole place is a tone, you know. This whole place was brought up by nerds around a music diverse culture, and we're not afraid to show our passion. So I noticed, like, everybody from every hood loves being here because of that, because we don't play into that, and they kind of give us that, and I kind of tell them, like, dude, you can just be you, bro. You're not, you know what I mean? And we get everything that you're trying to uphold.
Oh, we can be ourselves here?
Totally. I mean, and on camera, be
so
who
I can knock somebody down and leave them. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, that's you.
I'm just playing.
It's karma. We allow karma. But no,
I'm just doing the Lord's work. You understand me? But what you were saying,
someone says that, I don't know why. When someone tells me I'm just doing the Lord, I'm like, oh, don't mess with that guy.
Hey, be mindful.
Don't fight that guy, because that guy knows what he's doing.
What you asked me a dope question, and I know it started off with fentanyl, and before we were saved by the two people on the other end of the camera, I was talking about the undermining. And San Francisco just in general and how beautiful it is, but the way the media portrays it and how it's intentionally being done to undermine. They don't want to come out and just be racist. They don't want to come out and be sexist, so they use all these other words. But San Francisco's been a beautiful place, and you talked about it being sold, and I was talking about gentrification. And
same thing. Yeah. I mean, what happened with the Asians and blacks?
You feel me?
You know, the poor Asians
for sure,
that have been there for like 50 years.
Man, it's a lot of Asian folks that own homes in San Francisco right now, predominantly Asian and white. But what they did in San Francisco, which is the most project populated city in California, is they systematically removed black folks. Yeah. And they did it in a multitude of ways. They raised rents, they raised the deposit, they made sure that access to jobs and ways to be able to afford this wasn't available. Yeah. And then Jim Jones did that weird shit back in the day where all them homes got rolled over. You feel me? So many don't know.
Tell me about that. Okay. Jim Jones from Ballin' Jim Jones?
Nah, you talking about a rapper. I'm talking about Jim Jones, who he's named after.
Right.
So the original Jim Jones is a white dude who had a church. And what he did is he flew a bunch of people who were involved in his church, believers, to another country. And he had some cult-like stuff going on.
Right.
He gave all of them laced Kool-Aid. They all died.
Wow.
The majority of those people own those Victorians that are in Fillmore right now. So when it got signed over, instead of it going to next of kin, it went to the church. The church happened to be owned by the people that it was owned on, which was the descendants of Jim Jones. But that was all black owned. You feel me? It was a point in time where Fillmore and San Francisco was so black that they were literally lifting up the homes and then replacing it with projects.
Oh, wow.
You feel me? So when people talk about San Francisco being liberal and loving black people, at our peak it was 15% black. Right now we at about 3% black. So again, when you come to our city, in order for them to do right by the people, reverse gentrification got to be implemented. When you look at people bipping cars, oh man, you can't go nowhere without your car being bipped. How many people you think born and raised in San Francisco can afford to live there? How many people you think born and raised in Oakland can afford to live in Oakland? And you know how they offset the medium income by, what do they do? Median income. They said, all right, we're going to take Mark Zuckerberg's income and we're going to enter that in a national, in a citywide income, right? So that throws off the average. The average person in San Francisco does not make $1 million a year, bruh. They don't make $100,000 a year. But when you have these millionaires and billionaires who enter our ecosystem, it offsets everything. Right. Now, the prices go up. Oh yeah, you could afford $7,000 a month for a 2-bedroom. I can't, but the tech dude can. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, totally.
So these numbers aren't transparent, and then they got this thing on crime. Again, I remember when in San Francisco, people was getting their ass knocked down left and right. People talking about some broken windows right now.
Oh yeah, it used to be way bad in the late 80s.
Some broken windows.
Late 80s, right? Early
so you feel me? Uncle Sam come and take from you every single day. Don't say nothing to you. Don't even ask. You don't say nothing to Uncle Sam.
I know.
But some people that break your windows inconvenience you because they in fucking poverty. These are the worst people on earth.
I'm mad about broken windows though, because mine's been broke twice.
My shit been broke twice too, but it's like, bruh, what is the root of it? Go and get a job. Listen, man, niggas ain't trying to work at these rinky-dink ass jobs. You want the same people that you already put them in the terrible schools.
Yeah.
So now you want them to go to college and get a better job. So if 12 years I experienced this K through 12 terrible ass teaching, terrible ass teachers in school, you think I want to pay to go get mistreated?
Yeah. Gunna, you're 100% on. I've never believed in tech people because I know tech people, and they're kind of like rich Asian people from what I know, and they're both very soulless. It's just like money and numbers, and then like and I've talked to these people, when you bring up like social issue like we're talking about, they kind of go left because they kind of know
they do weird shit, and what they do is they want the data on it, and
they want the data.
They've been so dehumanized and they've been so numbed because once you begin to look at everything through the lens of data, you debase humans and
absolutely.
and humanitarian. I mean, and humans in general become numbers. So
they already are.
You feel me?
To a tech worker, because to a tech worker, to the average tech worker, social issues don't apply to them because they feel above that, and then they don't care if low class wages people cannot afford to stay in San Francisco. They'll figure they'll just come from Oakland or South San Francisco. Like they don't care. I've seen them. Like they don't care.
And this is the ramifications when you look at the displacement from the job loss right now that's going on from remote working and just other financial issues going on in the tech world. So I should be sympathetic because you laid off 50,000 people, but you weren't sympathetic to the 5 million jobs that were lost due to this technology that you created.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was just going to say that. So tech is all about taking jobs away from people and then letting the big companies do it. Like how many stores has Amazon killed, right? And so we celebrate them, and then they hire all these people to take away from all those jobs in other companies, and then you fire your workers.
It's a balance.
And it's like that whole cartoon shit, like in the future when technology's running everything and everything's all smoky and dungy and polluted. That's how we get there, because like you're letting these tech people control moral.
They don't have a moral compass collectively, and any tech company out there right now, I would welcome a healthy conversation of what can be done to balance it out. How can you enter these cities? How can you enter these environments? And how can you bring value to it? How can you bring worth to it? How can the people involved benefit from what you're doing? Because right now we have to coexist. But what people in tech companies forget is that they're human too.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, right now there's something slapping hella hard. What's that?
There's a studio downstairs. We're on top of a studio. Yeah.
For sure. So oftentimes with these tech companies, it's a total detachment from the population.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, isn't it? That's what technology's about.
You feel me?
Right?
You got introverted people who are isolated, and then when you talk to them about regular things, they want you to go through hell and hot water. Like right now, any tech company that was watching this, you could reach out. We could use San Francisco as the pilot program of how you lift up schools, lift up communities, and I ain't talking about we need 5 or 10% of what your profits is and margins. I understand, you know what I mean? You got people that need money, and that's the bottom line. But there are ways right now that when you interact with the community, we can make this, we can intertwine what's going on and then make it the example for the future.
I don't think they're going to do that.
They're gonna have to, or they're gonna have to, or their buildings are gonna be burnt down accidentally, and I don't know who's gonna do it. But
I think that should be done.
It's gonna happen.
You know what I mean? But I don't see tech companies getting a moral compass. I mean, maybe a shift will happen, and there was a shift that has happened spiritually, right? Because you see it in people like us that the pandemic made us more conscious. I feel like the pandemic made us
When you say us, who do you mean?
I mean us as like a 70-80% population.
Oh yeah, because I'm amongst the 1% when it comes to thinkers and spirituality.
But I definitely feel that the shift has affected everyone though, regardless, because I've seen it. Like people in the spectrum are now not so money hungry chasing, right? And people are more like affluent with their time. Like they know what they want to do with their time, and they're more conscious of it. And so like,
I'm fucking with you on that.
Just like you said, no one wants to do these shitty jobs. That's the shift, bro. Like no one wants
mental health too. That's segue to mental health.
Totally.
A lot of people now are realizing that things are unhealthy for their mind, right?
Totally.
Suicide.
We go to less concerts. We go to less public events.
When you're working 1,000
anxiety.
hours.
You know?
Suicide last year, 49,500 people committed suicide, which is more than any other year on record for the United States of America.
That is true.
And it's
population did go up though. Population did go up.
And that's the
there's you know,
that's the transparency. But when you look at it, that actual number,
scary. Very scary.
It's
Very scary.
Post-pandemic, because prior to that, it was going down. Even though the population was going up, the numbers was going down.
You're right.
But what happened with what you said, bro, it's still some people that's working remote. And even though they made it seem like it was good, those people feed off of interaction.
Absolutely.
And now they don't have it, right?
They still get it through the Zoom, but I get what you're saying.
You feel me?
It's a different feeling when you get it physically. Did you see that study on rats, bro? I want to show. Okay.
Well, water.
No,
drowning.
There was a study on rats where they had like maybe 20 rats in this eco society, right?
And at the end, they all killed each other?
No, they were fine. They were all happy. Then they added like 20 more. There was like 40 of them, right? And they had this bigger ecosystem. They were all happy. Then they overcrowded it like a New York situation. And then rats started showing same symptoms as humans do, like
they started killing.
They started like biting on themselves, like mental behavior,
everything,
depression. Like rats were exhibiting the same behavior. I'm honestly gonna say I think we're just overpopulated. I mean, I'm grateful to come into Earth at this time. Yeah, it's an amazing show.
Okay,
but I just felt like Earth is like probably would have been better at like the 500 million mark because everyone needed each other. Everyone.
So let's talk about what you just said, and I'm not even gonna say debunk.
No, okay, please go into it, man.
5% of the United States, 95% or 90% of the population in the United States of America live on 5% of the land. So I need you to understand that the overwhelming majority of the land that's available in the United States of America is not being utilized. When you look at the population,
let's go into this because my friend's on your side of the fence. So let's go into it. Yeah.
When you get to a New York City,
right,
you're gonna say it's overpopulated. San Francisco, you're gonna say it's overpopulated, and I'm gonna agree with you to a certain extent.
They are overpopulated.
It's not even a certain extent. I'm gonna say you're right.
No, just because there's land doesn't mean you should fill it up, though.
And there we go. So 90% of the United States, we got room, bro. What's overpopulated is the cities that we want to be in.
Gunna, we have room, but do we have topsoil nutrients? No.
You don't believe so?
We don't.
Have you been to Middle America?
It's a fact that produce and food that we're eating has less nutrition than it does now than it did in the 60s. Well, why is that? It's
in the United States.
It's the fertilizers that we're using. It's the pesticides. No, this is global.
Hold on. This is
global, man.
We got to be transparent with what you're saying because you're talking about we don't all have to eat off of meat, though. Hold on.
No.
What's killing the soil?
This is what I'm saying. Thank you for bringing up this theory because there's this theory going around where, they're saying that we're overpopulated. It's a lie. And they show you that how many people that the whole world can fit within the city of Los Angeles, shoulder to shoulder. So if you go by the math of that, we have plenty of space to grow. Okay, first of all, you don't want to get to a space where we start questioning our space. That's not a good...
How much room do you feel we need?
We need a lot. 500 million is a great population number for sustaining. Look what we're doing to the ocean. Look what we're doing to the air. I mean, we want half of the land taken up? No, we're not even doing good with 1/8 of it taken up. You know what I mean? And then you look at the nutrients, the tops.
I'm going to disagree with you aggressively.
Please do.
Based on you look at the people who are abusing.
Right.
The power that they have, so it's making you feel like you can't have your 1 or 2 acres and your the food that you want, bro.
Yeah.
Right now, it's being polluted not by the people, bro. It's being polluted by the companies.
We could totally go about a human way better, and you're saying that we could have twice the many people that we have on Earth right now and run it better. I'm not disagreeing with you, but we're not doing it now.
Facts.
We're not doing it now.
So you could get rid of 7.5 billion people if the shitty ones are still running it, bro. It's still gonna be hell for you. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to Rome.
But that's the thing. How many people are in poverty?
Okay, let's go back to Rome.
How many people are starving?
Let's speak in historical facts. You want to go to ancient Egypt, you want to go to Rome, you want to go to Greece, do you want to go to the Aztecs or the Mayans? And this is before it was 500 million people.
Right.
All of them said the same thing that you're saying when they ain't got no money. Would you be saying this as a billionaire?
Well, as a billionaire, man,
no.
You're talking way different spectrums here because I would have a very narcissistic view towards society. Because I'd be a 1%, and I would want to preserve my life.
There we go.
And cryogenic my body because I believe in that. We'll have a technology, but is that right? You know what I mean? Like
to get rid of 7.5 billion people when it's only 500.
I don't want to get rid of anyone.
It's only 500 million people that need to be gone.
But population collapse is real.
Yeah. 500 million people need to be gone.
Population collapse is real.
And the people that need to be gone are the pieces of shit.
You know, do all these people need to be in starvation and poverty?
Poverty is man-made and starvation is man-made. Right now,
and
you as a billionaire, you can feed all those who are in need.
But we're never going to get rid of that because it's our genome structure. Like, and I'm not trying to say anything, but just the way that we're habitually made, we're never going to share equally, bro. That's not how we're built. We are going to take land and dominate and care for our culture.
I agree with that, but nobody has to be hungry, though.
And I get that, but at the sense of it,
it's man-made.
We're cultural and we're tribal. You know?
Nah, you got some people in. You got no. I'm agree with you. I said no, but yes, you're right. What I mean? You have wicked people on earth who belong to each ethnic group and each religion.
Yes,
that's what's going on right now. You got the wicked who are in positions of power.
Now, 20 million years from now, maybe all of our cultures will blend. Maybe we'll.
So everybody's gonna be black.
Hopefully,
I like that.
And maybe we'll all get rid of all of our genitals. For sure. Like the aliens did. I know I'm about to go crazy.
I need swipe. I need that.
And if you don't have genitals, think of how much our society will grow. We're not gonna fuck each other over. If your girlfriend says that's my friend, it's really her friend.
You gotta talk to women who are being pleased by men.
Women do crazy shit because of their genitals, and we do crazy shit because of our genitals, and so we'll never impress women ever again. Right?
Listen,
we'll just build shit because we
come from two different backgrounds, right? I take pleasure in pleasing these women.
I do too. That's why I'm grateful to be in a generation that has their genitals. But just
I need that.
But just like the non-genital people say, and they want their riches too. See, look at them. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the women out there who love penis. You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, bro, if we could solve a lot,
Now I feel like you kind of trying to create this utopia now, and you kind of just
in the future. That's what utopia will be. It will be a non-genital society.
Okay, so we won't have genitals. You're into conspiracy theories and stuff.
No. We'll still be fishing.
Shout out to my man's Ace. You and him need to talk on camera.
I'm all about conspiracy theories, bro. But I've heard that conspiracy theory. We're not overpopulated, bro.
Shit, that's gonna be your next interview. That's gonna be the littest ever.
Food is losing nutrients. Cancers are growing at an impassable rate.
And hold on, what did Ace say? So you believe in the brick thing?
I believe that we're a bacteria to this earth. And this earth.
Do you believe January 1st? This is what Ace said. January 1st, the whole world's going against the U.S. dollar, and the shit's gonna collapse. And it's over.
Do you agree that there's good bacteria and bad bacteria in your body?
Yeah.
There's good bacteria on your hands that fights off germs.
Yeah, that's why it's not good to use hella hand sanitizer.
Thank you, my guy. There's bad bacteria in your body that could turn into a disease. We have the choice.
Who?
Us.
Who's we?
1%, 90%.
We live in a different life. But you as an Asian man, me as a black man, we have different.
We're all
different
bacteria to this planet.
Nah, man, we not all the same though.
And we could all be good bacteria, bacteria. All this shit that we're could argue about Asians and black. That's all superficial, man.
No.
That's all non-existent.
now you going to one.
You got bigger global.
You got to acknowledge our uniqueness. As a black man, you as an Asian man, it's certain things that make you hella dope.
While you're black and while I'm Asian on earth, this is the fucking shit. I got rice. You got dope ass music and clothes. And
we got rice. We invented rice.
We all have. We're all arguing about what is. We're very competitive, right? See,
I didn't say I was just playing. I was just being funny. This is one of my favorite interviews. I feel like I'm on a.
But it's all perspective.
The platforms where
see how competitive we are. Oh, my race is this cool, and our race.
No, that's not what I said.
That's why we'll never give each other equal food.
All right, hold on. Let me clear this up.
Let
me clear this up though.
I might want to put kimchi on my food.
Facts. I might want to put some mangoes in. So my thing
how can we all be equal?
My thing with uniqueness, I never put us all together. And when I say uniqueness, I believe that is the DNA. That is what God left us behind collectively. And let me
go into it.
Let me go into what I mean, bro.
Go deeper, man.
I do not believe you being, if you don't mind me asking, what country on the continent of Asia? Korean. Okay. I do not believe that you loving South Korean culture, customs, and everything else is a crime against me unless it's a violent act, right?
I agree.
Wherever I go in the world, I want to see what the food is like.
Totally.
I want to see what the clothes is like. I want to see what the music is like. I want to understand the customs and what they refer to as God. I don't take any offense to it in modern times, though. In modern times, due to the last 400, 500 years of experience on the earth, people believe that we cannot coexist. I don't come from that type of people, though. Yeah, now, we've had war, since Genghis Khan, since Hannibal, we've had war since the beginning, right? Yeah. But the war wasn't to the extent of what you see right now. It wasn't this. When you look at Europe, when you look at Asia, the continent of Africa, when you look at North America, whether it be the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, there was feuds. Sometimes people got annihilated, bro. Oh. But I mean that goes back to the biblical. Wild. That goes back to the biblical times. But what I'm saying is
genocide's wild, man.
In modern times, all it takes is a little bit of common sense for us to appreciate each other. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And no matter what space that we're in, you see that with common sense, bro, we can coexist.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that ain't what it is. It go back to what you said. You was talking about the egos. You was talking about people feeling this competitiveness. Usually that's dudes that are shallow and lack knowledge of self. It's nothing wrong with competing. Okay,
non-confident men,
you feel me?
Yes.
Yeah, like we can compete sports, who gonna get to the moon first, all that, bro, but we don't gotta compete to destroy each other. And that's what goes on. When we get them amongst each other and we say color don't matter, you do yourself an injustice and me an injustice. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm just using an example because we talking. When we get in this thing, so often when I'm around white folks, I don't see color. Well, I do, and I appreciate it because when I look at you, I'm able to say, all right, bro, it's certain customs. Some stereotypes are true. Some stereotypes are negative. But I actually want to know about you.
That's awesome.
You feel me? I'm from San Francisco, blood. In the city, I came up with Cambodians, Tongans, Samoans, Vietnamese, Filipinos.
Black people I met from Oakland, San Francisco, they're very different, right? Mm-hmm. San Francisco black people are so interested in people's cultures, and I'm just fascinated off that because you guys have a very loud and proud culture that dictates a lot. Because
we grew up integrated, bro. We grew up poor. When you poor,
you extract something from society from other cultures, though.
Yeah, we come up.
I don't care about Asian music. I don't want to go to Asia and hear their music. I think it's trash.
Oh, see, fuck, I hope the Asian people see this.
You want to see who's the star out there, right? Yeah. Like you want to. I've seen my black friends want to know, like, who's the star out there? Like, how are they getting it? Like, how?
So you don't fuck with K-pop?
I hate that shit. That shit is so weird to me.
But that's because you was raised.
You like
K-pop. You was raised here. I love the aesthetics of it, and I see the influences of hip hop. Like, I'm in the art, blood. So when I see K-pop and shit like that,
you're watching K-pop.
Like, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it like that. But it be videos that go viral. I'll be like,
you see it, and you're like, okay.
And I think that shit hella lit because it's the way they shoot their videos, and this is way back in like 2016, 17, when me and Ace was actually having conversations and stuff about it before K-pop,
the way they shoot videos.
Took it to there we go. Yeah. It's the artistry, and that transcends beyond
over
colors
the top.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But let me get back to the town and in defense of there, because I jumped off the porch in the town. Okay. Oakland has always been a segregated city, and black folks out there, you got are they Cambodian, Vietnamese?
The Asians out there?
I'm trying to think. No, it's a certain group. What? People with the last name like Nugent.
Vietnamese.
Okay, so it's a lot of Vietnamese people out there, right, that I went to school with, but they was raised as black people.
Right.
And I had this conversation with my sister. She go to Clark University right now. When you come from segregated places, it's hard to comprehend certain shit. Yeah. Well, we come from a place that's so integrated that we only knew either you got money or you don't. So in the city, once you move to the projects, it don't matter who you look like, you're gonna take on a dominant culture, which is black culture. That's why the Latinos and the Usos and the Asians and all of them non-black people in the city, they talk and walk and dress and all that like us because that's how they've been raised from birth, bro.
I know
from birth.
They respect black people for what they've done and with this country. Like they see it
and
they respect it.
From birth.
They don't feel the white side.
Nah.
They don't feel closer to the white people. Southeastern Asians feel like they're on the lower class of Asians, and so they have this like camaraderie and love for black culture. And I've seen it. The way they walk their clothes and
everything.
It's this respect that they have.
So we keeping it lit, and I love it.
Yeah, man. Well, just San Francisco culture and people from San Francisco are just so much more educated and well run. I'm not trying to knock the town, but
no, this the whole country. So when you say the town, I feel like you isolating them, but we're special compared to everybody in the United States.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But in my narrow-minded perspective of owning a studio and seeing the different clients that come from Oakland and San Francisco, it definitely seems like San Francisco people have a wider perspective on social culture.
That's how we come up.
Do you disagree?
And in the town, I would disagree based on I would have to know what part of the town they from and their experience, because
for sure.
I know also in the city, when you listen to me talk, I come from an educated family.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm able to articulate. Many of us many of us in the city, even if we born in poverty, we born militant and we get educated and we get informed early on, right? The town, once upon a time, was huge on that. You got to remember, that's the birthplace of the Black Panther Party,
Absolutely.
right? And the Black Panther Party changed and revolutionized the entire United States of America. Free breakfast, free lunch, that comes from Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale. You feel me?
Yes.
So I feel like a lot of artists that get in here from the town, they may not have knowledge of self. Because I'm groomed, I come up under Tupac, DMX, Messy Marv, San Quinn, and then MAC. So MA is from Acorn. You feel me? He's a huge influence. If you was to talk to him, he's a self-proclaimed.
MAC's who?
MAC, Mac Blast.
Mac Blast.
From
okay.
Acorn.
Okay.
You feel me? From the Corns. He's from the Jets. He's a pioneer that he don't get a lot of. Well, actually, MA don't get none of the credit that he deserves. The majority of us in Northern California, if you was born like 1985 and after, you influenced by MA, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you hear us talking shit on these tracks, when you hear us really just mobbing, that's all seeds that was planted by MA. You feel me? And MA has always been influential. I've been listening to him since I probably was like 11 or 12, but he has yet to get his flowers or the notoriety that he deserves. I'm saying all that to say that ism comes from Oakland, California.
You're right.
And
You're right.
it can be felt and heard throughout all of our music. And if you was to talk to him, you would say for sure, God put a little extra sauce on him because he's anointed, not appointed. You
A
feel
lot
me?
of Oakland legends know about Mac Blast. A lot of
Everybody.
Oakland legends name
Everybody.
like
Free MA, man.
Rappin' Ron's one of those guys where it's like he's a legend. Not everyone knows him, but the real legends kind of know who they are.
So the town, man, they gifted, and I'm gonna always defend them because I know what I learned there. And it's also, unfortunately though, it's a city where you constantly in a state of survival. So when you got a predominantly black city, they gonna underfund you on purpose. You feel me? San Francisco, by the grace of God, we've been able to access some of the capital that the United States has benefited certain populations and stuff like that. But when you go to the town, man, the whole purpose of Oakland after the Black Panther Party, as far as the outside powers, was to make sure that they failed.
Right.
Why you think they took away the Raiders? Why you think they took away the A's? Why you think they moved the Warriors,
Yeah,
bro? They
you're
want to
not lying.
see the town fail for what they did, for the revolution that they kicked off, man. So shout out to Oakland, California.
I love Oakland, California because it has an eco culture in there, meaning that people are willing to spend money with each other. And what I've noticed that they do in Oakland, they don't do in any other cities. If you go to Oakland and try to sell your music, they will buy it.
It's a town, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
shout out to Uncle Too Short,
like,
you feel me? Out the
it's-
trunk with it, you feel me? Shout out to E40 and JT, the bigger figure.
Bro, that does not happen in any city. I've tried selling music in Union City. No one will buy it. But if I go to Oakland and I'm an Asian artist, like, people would actually buy it. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Like,
It's a different level of mobbing out there in the town, man.
bro, the culture is absolutely beautiful. The level of support that people show one another. And then you wonder why artists from Oakland blow up first.
Well, I feel like they blew
know
up
what I
first
mean?
because it's a bigger black population. San Francisco in general, we get slighted. We've been carrying the Bay for about 23 years, and for those who
You
would
feel
say,
San Francisco sided?
Huh?
You feel that way? Because there's a
I
lot of
don't feel, I
art.
know. I could tell you since the year 2000, as far as the language, the culture, and the impact San Francisco artists have made, we continuously get slighted.
Why do you feel that way?
Because historically, in the media, San Francisco is depicted as a gay city. And when you think of hip hop and when you think of culture and when you think of other things, I feel like people don't want to even acknowledge that as black people in San Francisco. They want to take the Castro district and then minimize us to that. So that's equivalent to going to Oakland and the only images you see of the town is Lake Merritt. Well, that's not going to be a adequate depiction of Oakland. You feel me? So when you think of the Messy Marvs, when you think of the, I mean, I can name about 50 artists from San Francisco that every year have made sure the Bay is getting the best. I mean, that the listener is getting the best the Bay has to offer. You feel me?
Right.
And we get slighted. I don't know, cause I rock with niggas from the town, from Richmond, from Vallejo. But just to keep it all the way a buck, man, when people get in position, the city stay getting slighted. We stay not getting what we deserve and what we've earned. When you look at, again, our influence, is so much sauce that come from here. But whether it be the weed, whether it be the with cannabis in modern terms, but more specifically when it comes to the rap, I mean, yeah, we been carrying this shit, and anybody who say different, it's like, come on, bro.
I don't want to say different, but I will say as a fan perspective, coming from where I came from in Union City and all the other Filipinos around me, we didn't see San Francisco like that. We saw rappers from San Francisco having game because they came from a more populated metropolitan, you know. So that's how
in
we
the
kinda
Bay
see
is
it.
different, but when you think of the media only mention Oakland and Vallejo for real. The city we don't get mentioned, bro.
What media are you?
Any
I'm
media
not
outlet,
but what
like
media
right now, when you think of the Bay, outside of the Bay, it's E40, it's Mac Dre, it's Too Short.
But JT the bigger figure. I mean, San Quinn.
Nah, when you go to New York, I mean, when you go to these publications and stuff.
Even I'm not disagreeing.
Even when you go,
get the truth out here.
When you go to the hyphy movement, bro, that's not what we was on. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of our artists that was supposed to flourish and take off didn't. And even in modern times, again, the Bay is mentioned, but it's like, why is it this lack of emphasis on San Francisco? Why is the city?
You're 100%
why in
right.
modern times ain't the city given the credit that we deserve? And everybody that got DuckTales, that come from the city. You understand what I'm saying? When you hear anybody saying "Long Live," when you hear somebody saying "God" or "On God," this all come from San Francisco, bro. Right. Like I'm talking about specifically San Francisco. When you hear a neighborhood named after somebody that got killed, that come from San Francisco, bro. Yeah. A lot of the language and the culture comes specifically from San Francisco, but it seemed like on the under, in person it be peasy, but on the under it's like when the light is on us, man, shed light on this whole thing. Yeah, because that's how we gon' that's how we gonna flourish and that's how we gonna win. When you look at the '90s Bay Area, you had the rapping fortes, like you said, the JT the Bigger Figure, San Quinn, Messy Marv, RBL Posse, Cool Nut. You understand what I'm saying? IMP, Selsky. GLP, all of these dudes, like, come on, bro, we got to keep it playing. So, but that's the '90s. That's why I said in the last 23 years. Okay, yeah. In the last 23 years, bro, been some funny shit going on for real.
Yeah, just like the Raiders.
You feel me? It been some funny shit going on, and like I said, I fuck with niggas from all over you feel me? 8 million people in the Bay, but when it comes to the city, man, that's slighted. It can't be overlooked, and it can't be under spoke about.
I think people look at it like that because San Francisco has all this national attraction in itself, and then they kind of don't give the rapper lane. It's right, like, you know what I mean?
Man, we gangsters, man, from the streets to the pen to the industry and everything in between, man. Shout out to Tupac Shakur. What's one of his biggest songs, man? Only God Can Judge Me. He on there rapping Forte. Where you from? He from Fillmore, man. City and county of San Francisco. So even when you look at rappers like The Game, man, shout out to JT the Bigger Figure. He acknowledged it recently. He played a huge part in making sure that he even got discovered. So when you look at a lot of Zaytoven is from Fillmore, man. He's from San Francisco.
He's recent, right?
Let the record reflect that Zaytoven is from San Francisco. And everybody know he's the godfather of modern day Atlanta.
Right.
So when you think of San Francisco, when you think of Fillmore, when you think of anyone, like, bruh, our influences, our credit may not be given, but we everywhere around this thing, man. Yeah. Everywhere around this thing, man, for real. You feel me? No free sponsors, man.
I know you mentioned that you got out of jail recently. I understand. Kind of knowing about your career, you're someone that's well articulated in the streets, but you're not always trying to promote that with the music. That's fair to say? No.
I'm known for gangster rap.
And you're still, like, definitely in love with portraying it and all that?
I don't portray it. It's
that's what I'm saying. Like, in your music, it seems like
Therapy in the Ghetto is the growth of me. So that would be Tupac. If I was Tupac, that would be like Me Against the World. Right. That would be a more vulnerable LP, but never forget that he dropped All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. So at this point in my life, I've never been one to promote violence. I've always been an expresser of my experience.
Right.
So when people know me for gangster rap, when I'm having an interview, a conversation with you, it's never gonna be like that, because I feel like a lot of them people who do that, they trying to, what you just said, portray an image, right? I grew up around honorable men who, no matter what aspect of the streets they came from, they opened the door for their elders. They said Mr. and Mrs. They said excuse me.
Right.
So that same energy I have, which I feel has always confused people, because when they see me, my name is Gunna. They expect something totally different. They don't expect me to be articulate. And I come from honorable men and women who were educated black folks that happen to be in the streets. So even right now, people be confused. They be like, oh, is he an activist? Is he a community leader? Is he you feel me? Yeah. And it's like, do you want me to get on here and fit the stereotype? You feel me? No. Do you want me to take somebody's life on camera and then would you say, oh yeah, he's a killer, he's a gangster? I'm always confused by how people expect you to be. And then when people do portray this, I'm like, you can't see that this person is acting?
Yeah.
You can't say this, you can't see that this nigga is soft as fuck?
Yeah.
You can't see that this nigga is fake? They can't, and this is the thing, when you really, really come from it, when you look at the dopest people to ever walk the face of the earth, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, you feel me, when it comes to the street, almost none of them have the demeanor of what you've heard. And when you look at the artists that make it, the rappers that make it, the street dudes that make it, we're all articulate. We're all educated. We're all informed. So, back to my music. My music is a balance, but on the internet, I've shared the other end of the spectrum more recently. So people's mind, they don't know how to process it. You don't know if you're listening to a warlord or you're listening to Malcolm X and Dr. King. Because it's confusing, right? You go and listen to 21 Summers, that's a whole street project. It's like, all right, I'm rocking. But then when you go and listen to Therapy in the Ghetto, it's like, okay, I can see him selling out a fucking arena with 80,000 people. And me as a Libra, I put it on my Libra scale. So it depends where you meet me and how I'm feeling. That's the side of me you're gonna get. Because there's people who went to school with me that call me by my government name. For the life of them, they can't figure out, bro, how did you allegedly grow up to shoot people and do this and X, Y, and Z? And then there's people from the streets that's gonna tell you, oh, Gunna always been smart, but, oh man, that shit he doing right now, man, he may be faking or he ain't really trying to do it. It's like, nah, bro, whatever space that I'm in, I'm gonna be true to it. And I'm just something that most people never seen, which is a God.
I respect the God position you're doing now. I've heard about you and your street stuff, you know what I mean? And I heard how you're treating life now. You know, I'm not saying that you changed, but I respect it.
I appreciate that, brother.
I respect the lane. I respect the intent.
I appreciate
the way that you're doing things. And it needs to be acknowledged. You know, I think a lot of people who've had this very hard street life have a hard time transitioning. Like, I talk to a lot of them at all different levels. And I'm not saying that you are transitioning, but you're getting older. You're shifting. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, what
people shift?
What life comes change, but it's a that transition usually comes artificially or it comes forced. And the transition in life, you're gonna, you go from a rookie to a veteran, right? I'm not gonna portray, like, I'm not gonna use that word.
No, you don't portray yourself as that. That's what I respect. Like,
I don't stand on the block no more. I got over 10,000 hours on the block, right? So it would be foolish of me knowing everything that I've lost standing on my block for me to still be there. We did a live performance yesterday. I'm utilizing social media though to show that balance. Again, you may see me at a dice. You may see me shooting dice. It's hold on. Let me break it down for him because
it's all good.
It's hard a lot of times for people to articulate this shit because of exactly what you just said. They don't know how or they feel uncomfortable. Bruh, if you in the NBA, right? You play basketball, most people expect every time you see them, every time they see you, they think it's gonna be about basketball. But with social media, now we know that basketball players do more than play basketball. You feel me?
They're social activists.
There we go. So with social media, I get to show them, hey, bruh, you may be on the block, but I want to let you know, or you may be in the hood, or you shit. It's a lot of people my age still out there aggressively. I don't come from a community where we can stand outside without the police coming up, right? The streets is in me, but I want to show you what it looks like to become a millionaire in real time.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And it would be disingenuous of me to just show you the violence because I know you're going to get your head bust. I know you're going to get hit over the head with that gavel. I know that. So when I get on here and speak, it's for those who love my music, adore me, love the message, love all the street shit. But it's like, I grew up listening to Tupac and DMX. I grew up listening to M.A. I grew up listening to the dudes that let you know, hey, bro, we out here. But at the same time, it's more to life than that. And that's what I've been doing since I first got into the studio. Anybody that listened to all my music dating back to the beginning, this is who I am. I just never put it online. So I'm rising to the occasion, and I embrace all of it because I know through them seeing this shit in a transparent way, it's gonna help a lot of these other dudes say, all right, bro, let me start a trucking business. All right, bro, let me go back to school. All right, bro, let me be an entrepreneur. Remember, we jumped off the porch to get in the streets to get the money. A man said this the other day, Snoop Dogg, Uncle Snoop. Why would you start gang banging after you become a millionaire, bro? Why? When I was 25, when I was 23, before I got locked up, I never encourage people to fuck up how I'm fucking up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right, totally, yeah.
Before I had a patch on my eye, I never encourage people to fuck up how I'm fucking up. Any of the youngins that come from the block, from the neighborhood, and came in contact with me, they gonna say, Gunna always gave me the game. You feel me? That's what I am. I'm a vessel of that. It don't matter what I got going through. It don't matter what I got going on in the streets, bro. I'm never gonna get on camera, on a platform, and just all the way, all out. I feel like encourage that shit because I know where it's gonna get you. You feel me?
Totally, dude.
So my music is therapeutic for me. So yeah, niggas on there going through a lot. In my music, the shit that you hear is me expressing my experience, right? Mm-hmm. But it goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. Because just like you got a whole bunch of gangster shit going on, mm-hmm. You got love, you got mourning, you got happiness, you got depression, you got life, children being born, you got death, people being buried. And it always on the Libra scale. It's people right now who only listen to my gangster song. They can't fathom anything else. But then you got people who listen to Can't Play Me, which is one of my first songs to actually get me paid. They view me in the light of a rapper on R&B beats. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So imagine listening to Pac, and I always go back to Pac because it was mind blowing. Imagine the first song of Pac you hear is Dear Mama.
Yeah.
Imagine the first song you hear, like me.
For some it was.
You feel me? Imagine that. And then imagine listening to Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
Did you? But it was that versatility.
It works for me.
With DMX, you feel me? So like with DMX.
I don't watch this one or the other.
You feel me? Like with DMX, it was, you said what? With DMX, this shit was dope too because I knew DMX was out there.
Yeah.
I could feel it. No matter where you put him, he was gonna create that. Right now, we finna turn the studio into the block. That's who he was. That was his element, his comfort zone.
Right.
But then you can hear him talk about the industry. You can hear him talk about life. You can hear him talk about love. You can hear him talk about his belief in God. And then it went from a baritone to a monotone.
Oh yeah, you saw it. Very preacherist.
You feel me? So I got a calling in life, and yeah, I definitely make a whole bunch of different type of music and stuff like that. But I just make sure that I'm true to it. And anybody that, like I said, if you listening to the gangster music, the street music, just understand that I want you to listen to the full body of works. Not you. I'm talking about to the viewer, to the listener. I want them to get in tune with all of it, because I don't want you to just be out there fucking bitches getting money. I want you to be giving back to the community. And I don't want you to just be giving back to the community. Come on, bro. Let's go to the strip club, man. It's Friday night, man. Let's go shoot dice. You feel me? I'm not with that extremist. And that's what people do. They put you on one side, like what you talking about, basically out the game and on the bench. Nah, we not doing that shit. Right now, literally, it's Sunday. I may pull up to somebody's church if they invite me. Fuck around. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm fucking around in the church, but then you may invite me to a synagogue or a mosque, and then I'm in that thing too, or a cathedral. Just like somebody may invite me to a school, and then I'm able to give a lecture. But then after that, I'm pulling up on the block. And like I said, I may get a plate off the block. It's all about showing that we multi-dimensional, bro.
I love it. Gunna, we got to get out of here, man. We're about an hour now at the pod, so I appreciate you coming on. Cheaper Than Therapy is his next project, right?
Never. You just made that shit up.
No, I didn't, man.
Therapy in the Ghetto.
Oh my God.
It's already out. Terrible.
Did I just say
Stereotypical.
cheaper than
Yeah, it's some lightweight, you feel me? Racial undertones. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, man. No, I'm just playing.
You get a racial undertone out of that. That's pretty creative.
Nah, I was just being funny. Clickbait, right? Clickbait.
Therapy in the Ghetto, right?
Therapy in the Ghetto's out. 21 Summers. We didn't get to talk about the music. Nah, man, you cutting this shit off, man. Let me go all the way in, bro.
We gotta go, man.
We do?
Yeah, we're at an hour, and sorry, dude.
Who's next?
Chronic Casey, who's blowing me up right now.
I'm being rushed off the podcast, man. Hey, 100 million records, man. Shout out to everybody involved. I'm a double back. You feel me? I enjoyed this one.
I think he enjoyed it anyway, y'all. Don't take it too seriously. My guy Gunna Glows Global from the city, man, came out. I appreciate him. Shout out one more time the project.
Therapy in the Ghetto. He doesn't really remember because he doesn't care. So
yeah, I don't care. I'm just kidding.
He's not kidding, but he's kidding.
No, I care, man. I care. All right, y'all. We out of here. One love.